I've been to see mum and dad this weekend, and you'll have probably seen the footage. The chemotherapy has affected my dad pretty badly. He's been in an awful lot of pain. He's been in a lot of pain all week. I think I might have mentioned that in other posts. And my sister's basically, she's stayed with them. She's been with them for pretty much a couple of weeks now. Yeah, I mean, she's done brilliant, really. I mean, she's got all his meds sorted. She's got the routine sorted. She's been getting up in the middle of the night and dosing him up, so because he's just been in so much pain in the night. The assumption being on our part that it's the chemo attacking the cancers, and that the pain is just much more intense as a consequence. Especially the problem is because he's got tumours all over his body. There's not just the visible one that you see on his face. He's got one on his arm that actually has grown. He's had a blast of radiotherapy on that, and that has actually grown. And then that's having an adverse reaction on his hand. Then he's got ones on his side, growths on his side, one on his leg, one in his groin. God knows what else is going on internally. On the plus side, he was starting to feel better, and they were getting the meds right, the pain medication right. And he was in better fettle today. He's eaten more today. He was having issues with his throat tightening up. Capacitabine, I think, is the. I've probably pronounced that wrong. I'll put it up here somewhere. And that's the chemotherapy drug that he's predominantly. That's the key chemotherapy drug he's taking. And yeah, one of the side effects often includes throat spasms and so on. So diarrhea, all sorts of other things, and he's had touches of the diarrhea, but he's found it hard to swallow. And yet one of the key aspects you've got to do is drink lots of liquids. So yeah, that's been a bit of a challenge for him. However, today I've sat with him for an hour or two today. He's just sleeping a lot at the moment, but I spent a couple of hours with him just chatting today. He's able to drink more, drink better, and he's got a bit more. There's a bit more of my dad in his eyes. The life's back in his eyes a little bit more. That's Friday, Saturday, he just looked quite drained, but he's not looking forward to the next bout, as you might imagine. So, but at least he's been keeping track of his meds and what he's taken, so that then that can be reviewed by whoever reviews it, and they can assess whether it's enough, sufficient, etc., and adjust needs accordingly. And they might even adjust the chemotherapy dosage if it's going to debilitate him as much as it has. Yeah, that's it for now. I've not been back in long, and I've got a pizza on the go, and got to get ready for work tomorrow. Another one of those early morning ones. There was just something I wanted to kind of say, really. Well, basically, since Dad went for chemotherapy, I purposefully didn't look at what type of chemotherapy he was on, what the main drugs were. I mean, I know now. I can't really pronounce. I'm not sure of the pronunciation, but it's something like capacitabine or something along those lines. I'll mention it on here. I'll put it in a title. There's a reason why I didn't, because throughout this whole process, just about every time we've Googled something, it's either created a false impression or just got it wrong. Being the results that have come back, like in the early days when I thought it was we thought what was going on Dad's face was a sarcoma. Completely wrong. So it's this. If nothing else, this has highlighted the dangers with Google. Of setting yourself up for getting things wrong, and B, it can make you feel a damn sight worse about the situation, and then you deal with the consequences of that. However, at the weekend, what I did do was I did Google the capacitabine or whatever it's called, purely to find out the impact on diet, because one of the things that dawned on me was Dad's not been eating an awful lot, and Jeanette's been doing her best to get food into him, but I just thought, well, actually, maybe he ought to be taking I think it was a conversation that with one of my customers, Susan, whose dad had been through something similar that triggered this, and she mentioned about diet and so on, and I thought about multivitamins. So We've got him a multivitamin, a soluble one of those effervescent ones that just dissolves in water. And we were looking at what foods might be good for that particular drug, and considering it can give you diarrhea, it says about soluble fibre, because soluble fibre absorbs moisture in your gut. So we were looking at soluble fibre foods. It also mentions about bland food because the drug skews your palate. And oddly enough, that really showed up this weekend. Any strong flavoured foods that he normally likes, he really struggled with, like smoked bacon. 2 or 3 weeks ago, he was really enjoying smoked bacon flavour soups that I was making and so on. Actually, it's about 2 months ago. He was loving those. Did him a little bit of smoked bacon this weekend, too strong, and so on. So he needs more bland foods at the moment. And it does actually mention in the research that we did for this drug, Capacitabine, that bland foods are the way forward. And so bland soluble fibre foods. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to highlight that point about the dangers of Google and why I haven't kind of gone overboard Googling stuff, given what he's going through. Right, back to Prime TV.